Jordan Peterson, born in 1959, the Canadian psychologist, also argues that female brain is wired to understand and empathize with children. As the primary caregiver of children throughout history, women are hardwired to be more socially aware and read subtle emotional differences. It makes sense as they have been the primary nurturers for children for millions of years of human evolution. Men, on the other hand, are evolved as problem solvers, therefore, their brain is wired to seek solutions. But since males and females have coexisted for millions of years, it makes sense that they also have more in common than differences. The bell curve shows men and women are more similar than different. But it's the differences and the extremes that exhibit a clear gender differences. Men are far more aggressive, therefore the majority of prisons are filled with men. But this aggression also helps men to rise up the career ladder as they are more risk tolerant, so most of the CEOs are also men. Men are biologically hardwired to compete. As a result of male competition, throughout history, the majority of men never procreated. For example, 8,000 years ago, for every one man, 17 women procreated. This means that only a minority of men were successful in mating with the majority of women. This male competition is also on a biological level. A woman generally produces one egg per month to be fertilized. But on the male side, the competition is fierce among millions of sperm chasing one egg. So males are evolutionarily programmed to compete, which inherently makes them more aggressive and risk takers. And socially, it's males who pursue females and rarely the other way around. Throughout history, the majority of men died in wars. This mimics the sperm competition, where millions of sperms compete for one egg, but only one succeeds. Again, evolution favors that most men don't produce. Morality too reflects that. Protection of women is far more important than protection of men. The media shows that there's far more moral outrage at the death of a woman than a man. Next time you watch the news, pay attention. In times of disasters too, women are evacuated first. Our morality reflects our biological evolution. Hypothetically speaking, a single man can have thousands or even millions of babies, but a single woman is limited to a handful of children. So from an evolutionary perspective, who is more valuable? The old saying that a society with one man and 100 women can prosper, while a society with 100 men and one woman will die. So evolution says females are far more precious and important. This is why throughout history, men died in battles and rarely women were sent to wars. Even today, most dangerous jobs are taken by men. Hence, 90% of work-related deaths occur among men. Today, the human psyche has changed though. More and more women have taken the male role of working and providing in the developed world. Therefore, more women have chosen not to reproduce at all. Birth rates is at its lowest in most affluent countries simply because women work long hours, therefore no longer want to have babies. In poorer countries, however, the old gender roles means birth rate is still much higher than rich countries. Now, this shift in rich countries has slowly shifted morality too. When in the future a spaceship sinks in space like the Titanic sank in the Atlantic Ocean, you will not hear ladies first on the lifeboat. You might hear Mr. Musk and Mr. Bezos first and Mr. Branson last. One of the key factors in sexual psychology has been the narrative of feminism that men and women are the same. As a result, many scholars are hesitant to conduct research in the field that might show otherwise. Jordan Peterson has come under a lot of attack from feminists for saying that men and women are different. I think the argument from a feminist side has been that by proving a sexual difference between men and women, it perpetuates the old stereotype that only men can do certain things and vice versa. However, given our biological differences, it takes a decade and centuries to equalize the differences. But can we really fight evolution? It's a very touchy topic these days due to another development in rich countries, transgenderism. So the psychology of the sexes has become an ideological battleground. Therefore, it makes it hard to have an open and honest conversation. On the left, they minimize the differences, while on the right, they maximize the differences between men and women. But there's no doubt that most societies are changing when it comes to gender roles. Perhaps it's another evolutionary process. Today, a vast number of men lack the ability to mate, which is similar to most of history. Only a minority of men have access to the majority of women. We are animals and we are evolving. So, to sum up, the psychology of the sexes show that our biological differences translate themselves into our psychological differences. The difference is more visible in our mating strategies. Males and females seek the opposites for themselves. This makes sense. Millions of years of evolution has created opposite sex that each sex desire. It's not rocket science. Females value strong masculine protectors, while males seek kind, nurturing mates. But human civilization has tamed the world, so while our psychology is stuck in the past, our physical and social world is very different and very safe. Therefore, a vast number of men feel no longer needed as protectors and providers because the police and military protect everyone and women earn their own money. As a result, more and more people live alone as marriage and childbirth rates have decreased. As science becomes more powerful, perhaps in some distant future, there is no need for mating at all, as we can procreate babies in labs, like Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. But until then, we have to chase each other. In the next segment, I'll discuss the problem of psychology itself, mainly the psychological paradox of personality, as well as the problems of psychiatry.